Live.
Meeting is being live streamed.
Right. Come on, come on.
Okay. Let me go and share this.
There we are.
I'm going to share my profile and in my share in the group. Let's see.
Some sharing going on here. Okay. All right. Just give us a second here, everyone. And we will be bringing you a really fun talk today.
Yeah, really good. Oh my goodness.
How to live your dream life. Because seriously, it is 100% possible. And so often we don't believe that these seemingly impossible things really could be possible. And we're going to talk today about using what seems to be impossible, how to turn that around and really flip to live the exact life that you have been dreaming about, talking about, wishing for, working so hard to create and making it your reality. If you talked to me 2 years ago, I would never have imagined that I could actually be where I am right now. And Ralph, I'm sure the same for you. 2 years ago, you were not in the same place. And the work that we both have put in to get to where we are right now, I think is just so valuable and so useful and so worth sharing. Because again, there's so many people right now who are struggling to live the type of life that fulfills them, that satisfies them, that, you know, really elicits joy, satisfaction, and bliss. So I would love to know if there's anything that you would like to say about the importance of following your dreams and doing the work to get to where you want to be in life.
Yes. And let me hit record. So on my side, because I want to share this big time, because I know we were talking earlier and you have a big example in your own life of you get the inner game right, this inner healing, this stuff, clear the inner stuff and see a real change in the outer world, and including money and including everything else that people really want. And I want to just ask you some questions because what you've done is remarkable and incredible, and you know, so many people these days know that mindset is important and how you think is important, and that whole Think and Grow Rich thing, and the law of attraction. Yet so many people are still working way hard, and ultimately they still have anxiety and fear and worry, and there's concerns. And even when they get, you know, milestones in money, in success, in the relationships of what's going on business-wise and other, there's still an inner angst in there, that thing. And you know it's there. You know, it's like, it's easy to look different on Facebook if you're an influencer and a big time coach even. And but you know there's something missing in there. And so you've done something that's big. And so I'm excited to just ask you some questions because I think it's an important thing, because so many people think, yeah, mindset is important and how you think and all that, but there's something else. There's a secret to this thing that's not in the law of attraction and the secret, and it is, but it's hidden and people miss it all the time. And so I want to go deep into this and give people a way to really use the inner stuff, the spirit, the stuff that can make things happen instantly, and then see a tangible result in their world. Like you and I have both worked with people that they work with us and they get money during the session. They get clients calling them, and new clients and unexpected miracles. And I get messages from people. They're like, how did you do that, man? What, you got to teach me that, man. Vitaly said that. And Bridget Brooks was like, you know, I can mention her name because she has videos about this online. stuck at $3,000 a month and then $50,000 a month within 2 months of doing this inner work. And so, but the thing is that something that happens that's intangible of what you really want. And so I want to go deep into this. So, and so I know we talked before, so I know you're ready. And I just want to share your story.
Sure. Yeah.
You ready?
I was born ready.
So let's go straight to the worst of the worst. And you of course you're going to share what you can, and it's private information too. But where were you at the like, this has got to fix, this, something's not working. You've done a lot of healing work for years and years and years and years, and during those kind of things, it can come to a point when it's like, God, either take me or show me how to fix this thing. Where was your like, I don't know what you call it, your turn back moment, like, I'm gonna just quit, or I'm gonna be like, or we're gonna fix this thing. Where was your height of issues?
Yeah, back in 2018, on October 26th, technically, I guess it was early morning, I almost got arrested for DUI. And that right there was the wake-up call for me. And I did get sober for a year and 4 months-ish. And remembering all of that, even though I'm still struggling now, it's much less, because I have come to terms with the fact that I, and only I, am responsible for my life, my health, my prosperity, and the way I show up. And, with recognizing the fact that I had a problem, still sort of do have a problem, but I'm able to look at it from a completely different perspective. I think right there was something that said, okay, enough is enough. You can't numb anymore. You actually have to deal with your problems. You can't avoid them any longer. And through that time, the year and 4 months that I was sober, in my first stint with sobriety, I learned so much about myself and about my environment, the people I was surrounding myself with, the way that I spoke to myself and others, and truly the lack of love and compassion that was deep within me for who I was. And, throughout the past, 4 years since then, 3.5 years since then, so much has become clear. And I've started to realize what has been in alignment and what has not been in alignment with who I want to be, what I want to do, where I want to go, and the things that I want to create in my life. And so being able to step back and see that bigger picture, it's really given me the opportunity to pick and choose what makes me feel good. And from doing that, I have realized, like, I need to put myself as a priority. What does Katie want? And what is going to make Katie really step into who she's meant to be and produce what is meant to be produced in this world? And from that, it's been a lot of soul searching. It's been a lot of dealing with these triggers and this anger and this lack mindset and just this fear about being out in the world as the person who I'm meant to be, and stepping into this completely different career path, going from a tap dancer to a healer and a sound healer, has just really been such an amazing journey for all of the lessons that I've been able to learn and what I've been able to pull from the past 25 years of being a teacher in one specific area and using that to now teach in a new area. It's just really opened my eyes to all of the possibilities. And there came a point where there were some things that happened in life, and I've lost a lot of friends over the past year just because they haven't been in alignment with me. And I'm starting to understand, yes, I'm not for everyone. I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay. And being okay with that has set me free, like literally not caring anymore about people wanting me to be a certain way so that I fit into their perspective of life, or so that they can have an easier time hanging out with me or talking to me or being around me. It's like, well, you need to rise up to meet me because I'm no longer available to lower myself. And right there, putting that boundary up has completely changed my life. Completely. And from that, I have.
What did you want to accomplish? Like let me just get a little bit clear about, like,
Yeah.
you had this DUI incident, and were you a healer then, or a tap dancer then, or were you like doing both, or where were you what were
No,
you at that moment?
strictly tap dancer.
Tap-
And like hating my life, honestly, drinking myself to death, literally. And I remember that night, and yes, I'm going to admit this to the world, I drank before I taught class. And then I went to go meet some friends down at a bar. I never go out. I went to meet some tap dancer friends who came up from New York to see another tap dancer friend who's, has been on Broadway and huge name, whatever, playing in this bar. I was like, yeah, let's go down support. Totally got drunk. And it was, it was fun, but it was not a good idea. And I didn't switch over to being a healer until I lost one of the co-founders of my tap dance company right before COVID started to a heart attack. And that right there, that was the turning point that made me realize I love tap dance. It's my passion. It's part of who I am. But it's teaching it and being in the tap dance world the way it was no longer fits for me. And
what did you wanted to accomplish at that point? That it was like a fork in the road point, or that where you could have turned back and just went right back to tap dancing, or you could have like gone to this new place. What do you think? What were some of the things what do you think you wanted at that point?
I wanted something different. And I knew, because COVID hit, I lost all my contracts. I lost everything. I did not want to teach on Zoom, and there was no way I was teaching in a mask. So I was like, I got to walk away. Okay. And I was like, well, okay, well, what else needs to come through? What other talents can I develop?
Problem where you couldn't do what you wanted to do physically in the world. It was like
I was forced to pivot,
and it looks like a disaster. But you had this thing that was kind of taking you where you had to do something differently. What do you think you wanted then? Like, you were in a place where you couldn't do what you used to do. You hadn't started doing absolute healing stuff, even though you were a teacher. What do you think you wanted back then?
Honestly, I just wanted to be happy. That's all I wanted. I wanted to feel good again. I wanted to feel like life was not a struggle. I wanted to not be a slave to money and my financial situation. I wanted to step into who I was meant to be, because it felt like walking away from dance at that time was the absolute perfect thing.
That's who you were.
Yeah, it felt so natural to walk away. It was like, okay, done.
Wow.
Will I never go back? No, I totally will go back to it. I've taught a couple of classes here and there. I will go back when I'm ready, but it's going to be on my terms.
So, like, I want to check into this a little bit more and go a little deeper with it. Like, with all this stuff going on, the world's changing. You can't do tap dancing because it's locked down. You don't want to do it in a mask or over Zoom anymore. You're totally ready to just walk away now. You decided to walk away. And what you really wanted was to be happy and to I forgot how you said it, but basically to be yourself in there. Why do you think that was the thing you wanted? Like, there's people that think, well, I need this amount of money, or I need a new career, or I need to find my purpose in life. You went straight to, I wanted to be happy. Why do you think that was your thing?
Honestly, I was so unhappy for decades, and I never understood why. And looking back now,
this is with you being
I know why.
Tap dancer. You were a big time tap dancer, and you had just achieved all this stuff and had this whole structure of your life built around this love of what you love to do, tap dancing, but you weren't happy.
Nope. And I think too, part of it is because of how much effort and how much work I put into my tap dance. Like that is all I studied since the early 2000s. Pretty much no other form of dance. It was strictly tap. So here I am. I have all this knowledge, all this history, all this experience, all of these, different shows I've been in, teachers I've worked with. Like here I am with all of this knowledge. And I let that dictate everything about my life. And I shoved myself into the box of limitations and expectations of being a tap dancer. The starving artist. We don't make money. And especially as the tap dancer, we're like the lowest of the low, even though we are like the first American dance form to, be created, really. And we get no respect.
This is
So
a
you
big
have that,
point.
plus
This
the
is a big
starving
point because
artist.
it's like how many entrepreneurs and other people, artists and coaches and people, know you've got good stuff, but the rest of the people don't quite get it, or even when they get it, they don't quite. There's like a lack of respect thing going on. It's like, or you, in your own mind, you feel like you're not all that. It's like it's interesting. Yeah, the tap dancing, first American dance form. You're top of the top, and yet there was this like not feeling like you're getting the respect. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, and even a lot of the big name professional tap dancers who I've worked with, they still feel like we're at the bottom of the totem pole, and they've been all over the world. Like people know their names, and it's still like, we struggle as tap dancers. We're the ones that bust up everybody's floors, and we're not fun to watch. Well, we're musicians, you're supposed to listen to us.
What was the shift that got you? Oh, you're a healer, big time healer. Big time healers follow you. Big time healers talk about you. Big time sound healers and people in the very mystical realms talking about you and bringing you into their world. What was there? What was the shift that happened? Was there some kind of epiphany that happened? How did you become? What happened to all of a sudden? You're like, or was it all of a sudden like? How did you get into the healing thing?
Yeah, honestly, it really did feel like it was all of a sudden, because after Lisa had passed, it was like, whoa, okay, I don't want to tap dance anymore. Let me explore why. And it became like
Wow.
that. Her passing started my company, Feel Your Light, because it was based on the fact that like she is still with me. And
I want to ask you this: was she happy?
She always seemed like she was. She was a ray of sunshine for everyone. But I never asked her that question.
That's interesting
Believe
because
it or
it's like,
not.
yeah, I
Yeah.
just wonder. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had this. It's interesting that you had a shift in a big way that, like, I'm a runner. I can't even imagine the idea of like I walking away from running. It's like even when I couldn't run for 2 years and I had to figure out how to get my health back, I still like, you know, you had a shift in a big way where you were done with it.
Yeah. It was time. And what I think I learned, and what I think really was a catalyst, was the acceptance. Like I literally could not do what I was doing. Like
During the
everything got shut
lockdown.
down. And then also my body was like, yeah, no, you're not dancing. You need to rest.
Oh,
And I think honestly, from that happening, from the time that Lisa passed to the lockdown was less than a month. And it was like, okay, I have to accept this. We talk about radical acceptance, and that's really what it was. And I think from that acceptance, it gave me at least the opportunity to look inside and say, okay, what else about me makes me me? I am not just a tap dancer. I have all of these other talents. What wants to come through? What can we explore? And from there, it was like my writing really started to take off. And then from my writing, all of a sudden, I have clients. And then it was like, oh, Reiki training, oh, sound training. It's like the more you open up, the more energetically you have the ability to attract what it is that want, because
So
you're
did
you're
things
more
just come to
aligned.
you? Like did this it seems like, it sounds like a plan, like Reiki, sound healing. Did this plan come to you and then you implemented the plan, or was it just like spontaneously you somehow have found yourself in a Reiki class, or was there a plan? Did you plan it out a
Well,
bit?
honestly, yeah, I have a list. I have like a bucket list. And being a Reiki master was on that list. Sound healing was never on that list, believe it or not. It was just a fortuitous thing that happened. So,
Wow.
and it
You're-
was, again, just serendipitous that I ended up working with Ed Cleveland for my training, and working with him in so many different ways
Let
that
me ask you this. I want to go into this part,
evolved.
because I think this is an important part to unpack a bit. So you found Ed Cleveland. It sounds like you paid him money and he became your teacher. And then is that what did you like? Did you work? Did you hire him, or did you pay him money?
Well, yes and no. Like we've been working together in so many different aspects, and there's so many different exchanges. Money is only part of it.
So there was
And
some
so
money
there's
exchange.
been
Like you didn't
there's been
hire. He
money
was
exchanges, there's been energetic exchanges, there's been learning exchanges, there's been collaborative exchanges, there's been,
Oh,
here, let me
cool.
introduce you to this person, I'll introduce you to this person exchanges. Like,
Oh, this is
so
awesome.
it's just so abundant. And when we talk about abundance, it's not just money. And I
Yeah,
think that's
yeah.
what
So
we get caught up on.
you found a very important piece, I think, is that that who you surround yourself with really counts. Like somehow you and him connected, and this thing just took off.
Yeah, it's been an amazing relationship. Like when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Yeah.
And I mean, just the people who have come in and the people who are in the classes that I take with him, just like, wow, the expansion is crazy. The opportunities that have come from just getting to know the students within the class and working together, all of us, just like, wow, is all I have to say.
And then
So much
yeah,
abundance is coming through.
yeah. And then so you started on this plan that was kind of just like put right in front of you, step by step. Reiki, sound healing, Ed Cleveland, collaborations, and all this stuff. What were some of the big bumps along the road? What were some of the things that were like? I'm sure it wasn't just like whoa.
Yeah,
It's like
no, it
what
was
were some
not
of
like
the
that at
things
all.
that kind of like made you go, oh, come on.
Yeah. Honestly, the imposter syndrome. That was like the biggest block, being like, who am I to be a healer? Who am I to be like this powerful? Let me shift your whole entire life for you in one session. But that's what happens. And just having worked with some of the people I've worked with these past couple of weeks, they've been, big name healers here. And I'm like, you're coming to me? Like, what the hell?
Yeah. How was that during those experiences of having big time healers, realizing that, oh my God, they've been following you for quite a while. They love you and they love your work. And now they're coming in and hiring you to help them. What was that like? Like, was there some kind of like, there, or was there?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I had to sit with it for a long time. And even going into a session yesterday, my heart was like this, but I had been racing around all day. And I think it's because I felt the energy of like, I am so nervous. I can't just sit down. I have to let me just go to the thrift store and buy stuff, and then, as I was driving there and I was setting up, I cleared the space. I was like, ooh, I feel really good. This is going to be a great session.
Yeah.
And it was. And then, my class afterwards, people were just throwing money at me. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, can this happen every week? And, honestly, I think it's because I'm willing to step up and be that person. And I think if I had just said, yeah, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do my job. I'm a little bit nervous, but yeah, we're going to have something good come out of it. If I just went in with that attitude, it would not have been as successful as if I carried with me to the room, gave the room my insecurities, my anxiety, the imposter syndrome, whatever, let that sit in the room and then clear it all out and then sit with that energy. Like that just made the
Yeah,
difference.
you know what it
A
reminds
mini
me of?
session for me before my client.
Yeah, it reminds me of like for me running races at higher levels, of being around faster people, bigger names. And it reminds me of like for things like all of a sudden you're on the Grand Ole Opry stage or something, tap dancing. It's like there's an excitement, there's a like nervousness, there's like, oh my God. And then you go do it. It's like an exhilaration from putting yourself at a level that's not comfortable.
Yeah, you force yourself to rise. And the other thing too is like when I'm in a session with someone, I'm in the session too, and we both experience the healing, and we both had breakthroughs in yesterday's session, which was amazing. And so it's like, I look back on every single time that I was afraid and I went into a session and had great results, and I'm like, I use that. I compound that.
Show up. You didn't
look, I can do this. I've done it before. I could do it again. It's just gonna get better and better and better.
Yeah, you didn't have an excuse to not be there. You didn't let things get in the way. You went and you had a session with somebody at a higher level that made you a bit nervous and like, who am I to be doing this? And I can't believe they're following me. And what did you get out of that? Like, you've got influence, you've got people of influence reaching out to you to have you help them. You're on bigger stages. You're about to go on another bigger stage yet. And all this stuff is happening. How did you change on the inside as a result of this thing that you're on?
I feel very, 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 very blessed, more blessed than ever. And just having that gratitude, being in that state of gratitude all day, every day. Like, I look at my life now, no matter what happens, I'm like, thank you. This is wonderful. I don't care if it's quote, quote, good or quote, quote, bad, everything just is. And being able to show up in this way allows me to see the blessings in the bullshit and not take things personally and just say, you know what, I'm here. This is what's showing up for me.
Or when you take it personally and it hurts really bad and you just want to rail against something, to realize that. And then you do this deep, deep, deep inner work when that stuff shows up.
Yep. So like just so much awareness has come through, and that's really what's changed. The awareness and the just the acceptance and the willingness to accept everything about who I am right in this moment, everything about who I've been in the past, and accepting everything about who I am becoming. And again, like it's just gratitude, acceptance, and awareness, and a willingness to be in that state and just kind of honor, the moment. And I think honestly, being present has been the biggest shift.
Yeah, you know what it is? It seems like is like for me, the runner, being willing to step to the line and start the actual race when the gun goes off. And for you, being willing to like come from backstage and then walk out on stage. It's like there's a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people will do anything to not do that. They'll use every excuse in the book to not go for it. And because it hurts and it's scary. And but then the other side, if you're an athlete, if you're a performer, you know what it's like to go do it. And then what it's like afterwards, eating your food, hanging out with your friends, talking about it and going, wow, that was incredible. That's it's about living life. And so you're an amazing example of that. And when I think of it, it's like you're around different people than you used to be around. And can you talk a little bit about like respect, or respect from other people now, respect for yourself? What did you get in the world of respect?
Yeah. Honoring myself has developed a deep sense of love and respect for who I am. And I didn't have that before. Honestly, I did not have that probably up until this year. And, admitting that to myself is just like, whoo, there's some self-love.
It's amazing because a lot of people, without you knowing it over the years, have had deep respect for you and have been following you. And now it's all coming to light that, oh my God, they've all respected me all this time.
Yeah, and it's true what we say, like change the inner and the out will reflect. And since I've been able to cultivate that respect for myself, it's just opened up just this whole new world of people to interact with and
Yeah,
to collaborate with and to surround myself with. And it's really, really important um, to have those boundaries. And when you're around people who don't support you, who don't lift you up, who don't empower you, who question everything you do, who don't believe in you, who don't want your success, who talk badly about you. I mean, I could go on forever, but when you're constantly around this, and you say, "Oh, I have my boundaries. It doesn't affect me," but when you're around it and you're constantly hanging physically around these people, you get that energy. I don't think any of us are able to really put up that super resistant boundary and bounce that off. And awesome, if you can, please teach me how. But we absorb other people's energies without knowing. And so sometimes those things just slip through the cracks because you're so used to it. But when you
yeah,
take yourself out of that situation, put yourself in a completely new environment, take the risk of not being liked, right? And open yourself up, calling in the people who will offer you the opportunities, the resources, the support, the encouragement, the empowerment, the motivation, the inspiration. When you're willing to open up to that and look at every single person that you encounter being able to give you some sort of gift, whether it's knowledge or guidance or healing or an ability to say, yeah, no, return to sender. That's an opportunity to really understand yourself better and to open up and to notice what it is that you're actually calling in. Because again,
yeah. The
what you
people
put
are,
out is what you get back.
and it's cool because you through this whole process, um, the people you're around are different, and it started with the respect of yourself, to then be able to see the respect of them, and then you're part of this group of people. There's always going to be the haters, the people that will do anything to like they just do not like when people succeed. They get upset around good news. They always want to talk about bad news. There's a way to what you're playing with people that are at a higher level, and that group is your group. What through all this, what do you sense is your purpose? What's your purpose? Or what happened? How have you? It absolutely feels like you're on purpose. You're doing your purpose. How does it feel, or what can you say about you're living your purpose?
Yeah. Yeah. And excuse me, because I'm gonna swear. But since I was like 6, I knew I was here to fuck shit up. Like I knew that I was here to change the world. I
Yeah,
knew that I was here to break down the paradigm. I knew that, even though I didn't know what it meant, I knew.
yeah,
And it's taken me this long. And I also knew I was a late bloomer. Let's just get that out
yeah.
of the way. I knew.
It's so funny.
And I always said to myself, my career is going to start after 40.
Let me ask everybody,
And it did.
because who here can relate to what Katie is talking about? I'm like, that's me. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And honestly, it's like, I'm at that point, in life where I really don't care what anybody else thinks. Like I'm secure enough to go out and do this work in the world because it's more painful to not do it.
I think
And
that might be the thing. Like
yeah,
if you're at a point where you're just like you can't take it anymore, and you really, really, really need to make a change. Those are the times when it feels awful. The world's giving you all these problems, and it can be your biggest gift. Your biggest gift, man. Katie, this is awesome. I know you and I are doing something really big. We're already doing it in our group, our Atomic Success Secrets group, and we're launching it version 2.0 really soon. And I really wanted to get your message out to people because this is the time. Everybody's being pushed right now, and things are falling apart. Things that thought people, even jobs and things that people thought were like very, very, very secure, nothing's secure anymore. Even all sorts of stuff is like just it's not, and it can look so much like disaster and push all our buttons and yet that can be the biggest win right there. Just if you can go in there And what I'd like to do is have people contact you and contact me, because we want to know what you're going through and what kind of problems you're dealing with. And especially if you know you have something big to bring to the world, or you're bringing something to the world and yet it's still something's missing. We want to know what's going on, where you're at, what you want, what's in the way, what thing, if solved for you, would make all the difference in your life. Because we're going to be doing something really big to bring a free training very, very soon. Next couple of weeks is my plan. And I just want to know what people are up to, because it's time. It's time to fix this stuff.
Mm-hmm. We're in that energy of rebuilding. It's a new moon today, so what are you going to manifest, right?
Yeah. So www.feelyourlight.com to find Katie, and www.ralphhavens.com / I think I'll give you peace process, which is a very cool one. It's going to be I think it's the list I'm going to use to get our message out about this free training. So ralphhavens.com / peace process. There's a gift for you there. And Katie has free gifts as well, feelyourlight.com. Reach out to us, really, I mean it. Message us, find us on Facebook, find us on YouTube, email us directly, and we'll let you know where we're doing this, because Katie, you're like an example, absolutely, of like, you get the inner game right and the outer takes care of itself. It doesn't just, it's not like all rosy and there's a plan, you got to do stuff, but really, if you don't get this inner stuff right, the outer stuff is like very, very hard to get to. So, and even when you get the outer stuff, you somehow have something missing if you don't clear this stuff. So thank you. I wanted to do this as just kind of I wanted to just ask you a lot of questions. So thank you.
No, thank you. Honestly, if it weren't for the Atomic Success Group, I don't think I would be where I'm at right now. And there really is just power in numbers. And, just a final thought, truly anything is possible if you believe it is. And I believe that this group has helped me to really embody that belief that really anything is possible, and you can absolutely 100% live the life you're dreaming of.
We have such a great group. Ilya, Leslie, you and me, and everybody in there. This is awesome. I'm so glad you're here on the planet doing what you're doing. And yeah, we're gonna both jump off here. So feelyourlight.com, contact Katie, just contact her, and ralphhavens.com / peace process. And I'll give you a gift, and let us know what's going on, and let's fix it up. Let's get you what you want. Thank you, Katie.
Yes, thank you, Ralph. And thank you everyone for watching. We appreciate you and love you so, so, so much. Talk to you soon.